Did Bullet Train give me a headache? Yes. Is it going to get worse because now I have to talk and yell about it? Yes. Are we going to do it anyway? Yes. I didn't like this movie. Oh, what's new? You don't like anything. It's from David Leitch, the director of Deadpool 2, which admittedly is a movie I didn't like either.
What in the... Why is your hand so tiny again?
That's not my hand.
Oh, Mary, Joseph. Now, I know what you're thinking, though. I just want to see this for Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt, he's in this. And yeah, he's good. He may be the best part. He's really trying. But the problem is, the movie is smearing the story across like 8 characters. It's just too much. There's too much going on, and that's why I say it's convoluted. Because the first act, you should be getting to know Brad Pitt as a character. He's our main character. We should know who he is. And turns out, his character boils down to one thing. Or I guess 2, which is an offshoot of one thing. He has bad luck. And he's seeing a therapist about it. And that's all his character is.
I am ready.
Well, that's great, Ladybug.
Ladybug.
Your new operational name?
Oh, I see what you're doing. Ladybug's supposed to be lucky. Ha!
You don't have bad luck.
Really?
And that's the biggest problem with the movie as a whole. The characters are so one note that it gets exhausting and excruciating at times because every character has one trait, literally just one. And then they ram home that one trait over and over and over and over and over again. There's a guy named Lemon, and he likes Thomas the Train Engine, or whatever it's called. And he's constantly comparing everyone on the train to Thomas. You're a Diesel, you're a Percy. And that's all he ever talks about. That's literally all he ever talks about. And all Brad Pitt ever talks about is therapy and how he's working on it. Oh, my anger is getting out of control. I'm working on it. I hate you. You suck. I'm working on it. I'm sorry.
Eat a bag of dicks, lady. I'm sorry. I'm working on it.
Here's why that's a big problem. It's not just that the characters are one note, and that in and of itself is an issue. Now, it is. Work on it. Figure it out. But if you had a good story, doesn't matter. Because look at Inception. Inception is about people going into dreams and doing a heist. Characters, they don't really matter that much. What do you know about Joseph Gordon-Levitt in that? What do you know about Tom Hardy in that? Not much. They have their one specific job, they do that one specific job, and that's about it. That's fine because the story's interesting. You want to see where it goes. You want to see the next escalation. In this, the story is about a number of people with one trait talking about that one trait endlessly that all want a briefcase. And that's the extent of the story.
Something else going on here.
Yeah, I'm not the only one on this train looking for this case.
You gotta have one or the other. That's what I'm saying. You gotta have good characters or a good story. And this kind of doesn't have either. It has like the bare minimum of both. And then the story kind of transforms into this Shelob's web of backstabbings and reveals. The movie just kind of ends up being reveals the movie by the end, and none of them are particularly interesting or well developed or come out of in a way that makes the story better or the characters more interesting. They just kind of are reveals. For example, all the characters on the train have like code names because they're spies or assassins or stuff. You've got Lemon, you've got Tangerine, you've got Ladybug. You got all of these characters with these specific names. The father, the girl, the prince, I think she calls herself. Then you have one called the Hornet, which is an assassin whose trademark is killing people with deadly poison that makes their eyes bleed. And for the whole movie, they're trying to figure out who the Hornet is, or at least the first half. They're like, who's the Hornet? She's killing people. I just revealed who it was, kind of. But this person's killing people. We got to figure out who it is. You never see them because they're hiding in a costume. And then they pull the head off, and turns out it's Zazie Beetz, who I like a lot. 2 minutes later, she's dead. So what did that do to help this movie? Answer is, didn't. So why even make it a reveal? Like, for real. Like, why make it that obnoxious of a reveal, too? How about this? Instead of that, make it the train conductor who shows up like 3 times. Then there's a joke there. Oh, man, this guy was a real dick to me. Turns out he was the assassin. I need to have counseling for that. That's how that would go. But instead, it's, I took this hat off. Oh, you're the assassin. I saw you at this thing before. Now we fight. And now you die. And that's that.
Use your small inside voice in here, son.
There's a gun.
I can see what they wanted to do with this. I really can. The problem is, the writing is just so cheap. And that comes down to pretty much every aspect. Even the humor in this is just so cheap. There's like 3 jokes where it's just a cameo and that is the joke. That's not a joke. Like, oh, Channing Tatum's here now. And he talks about being gay and looking at Aaron Taylor Johnson's walk. And he has a great walk. It's not a joke. That's just Channing Tatum playing a gay character. Where is the joke? But the cameos are one thing. I can stomach bad cameos for no reason. Because why not? Bad cameos for no reason, why not? But then the rest of the humor is simply playing on the character's one traits. And that's the joke. Oh, how will Brad Pitt react to this scenario? Oh, by talking about his therapy or trying not to kill somebody. How will Thomas the Tank Engine guy react to this scenario? Oh, by comparing it to Thomas the Tank Engine. Okay, that's what makes comedy. That's what makes action. What makes horror. That's what makes filmmaking interesting, is unpredictability. And yet this is just a series of action scenes with jokes laid kind of in the same area and characters saying the same things over and over and over again. The only times when this got interesting is when people died. And then like 2 or 3 of them, they didn't even die.
What's waiting for us in Kyoto?
The White Death, with his army of assassins.
There's this soulless psychotic leader with the largest criminal organization on the planet, shoved right inside.
This movie doesn't have much of a story and doesn't have much of characters, so it just has to keep explaining itself to you. Which is another thing. There's constant flashbacks, there's constant cutaway gags, and it's annoying. I don't need to see the same shot of Lemon and Tangerine killing people in some foreign country 4 times. Okay? I don't need to see that. I don't need to see Michael Shannon's character with a red mask on shooting somebody 3 times. I got the point the first time. Okay? The problems with this movie don't run super deep. Now, I know I'm making a lot of noise about these problems, but the movie is ultimately competent. It's decent looking, the acting is good, the action is competent and sometimes sporadically fun and interesting. The fight scene between the Hornet and Brad Pitt I liked a lot, even though she just shows up and then dies and that's the end of that. I like that.
That's a shit deal.
The reason I'm making so much noise about these problems is because they're so easily fixable. They're not like movie-breaking issues, other than the characters just having one traits and the story kind of turning into just a reveal fest and being not that interesting. Most of it is just like, you just cut a couple places and it fixes this or that or this. And that's why I don't hate this movie, but I just don't like it. I give it a 4. So, that's that. Well, goodbye.